and get a popsicle or some shit. For me, he gonna throw that up in there on GP, right? But we can go get that shit with a letter, a note.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Pack that shit back to the house and feed the whole family. Right? And then when she get her check, shit, she gonna come back, go down there to Mr. Robinson, pay her bill, and then go some more food. Right? The whole community could do that pretty much, opposed to those who didn't pay their bill. And even though some people came through without paying their bill, you feel me? Mr. Robinson still let them do it again. Because he already know that every now and then, you know, people fall on hard times. But at the same time, you know, their word was good. You feel me? Mr. Lee, he opened a store up 3 blocks down. So you gotta pass Mr. Robinson's store to go 3 blocks down in order to holler at Mr. Lee. But you passing Mr. Robinson up, who been there like 3 or 4 generations, to go fuck with Mr. Lee, because Mr. Lee selling bread like 10 cents cheaper than what Mr. Robinson selling his for, right? But when you go down there to fuck with Mr. Lee, see, as soon as you walk through the door, you being scrutinized. He watching you up and down the aisles, you know what I'm saying? Turn around and then had niggas sent to jail because they done stole gum and bullshit out the store. You know what I'm saying? But when you go down there and score that loaf of bread 10 cents cheaper than what Mr. Robinson selling this shit for, and you going back home, you walking back home on the opposite side of the street, but you trying to hide the bread because you don't want Mr. Robinson to know you just scored from Mr. Lee on some bullshit, right? So that same loaf of bread that you was buying from Mr. Robinson, now that shit done mildewed, it done molded. You throwing that shit away, right? Eventually, Mr. Robinson, he go out of business. When Mr. Robinson go out of business, now Mr. Lee, not only is he charging you
more,
the 10 cents cheaper, but he charging you a whole $1 more than what Mr. Robinson was charging, right? You can't go to him with a note and go get that bag of food, you know what I'm saying? Them wings, you know what I'm saying? That loaf of bread, that sack of potatoes, that pack of motherfucking biscuits and hedges, a cool 50 Kings, and he damn sure ain't throwing in no extra popsicle or none of that shit for you. You know what I'm saying? So now, Mr. Robinson gone. But you ain't know that the reason that Mr. Lee could sell this shit 10 cents cheaper, he could have really sold it $1 cheaper. Due to the fact that Mr. Lee, he went and scored all his produce and shit in bulk.
Yeah.
But he scored it in bulk because he put his money together with Mr. Kawasaki.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mr. Yamaha.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how they come together and get that.
Because they gonna come together and they gonna go score that shit.
Yeah.
Just like when you go score dope, instead of a nigga going to get an ounce, you're going to get a book. So when he go get a book, he gonna get it a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So when they come together and they go get their shit together, then they gonna get it cheaper, and then they can turn around
and run you out of business.
And run you out of business. And the nigga gonna turn around and stop going to Mr. Robinson and start fucking with Mr. Lee for 10 cents.
No lie.
You don't fuck with me if you ain't spending no money with me. You don't fuck with me if you ain't keeping me in business, bro.
Preach.
You feel me? I ain't on no racist shit, but the Caucasian community, the white community, the dollar exchanged 7 times in their own community before they spend it outside of their community.
Yes.
Right. The Asians, they spend money with each other 5 times before they spend it outside their community. The Hispanics spend their money 4 times with each other before they spend it outside their community.
We the only race.
African Americans, we the greatest consumer, the biggest consumer.
That's right.
We buy more shit than anybody. And we spend money twice with each other before we spend it outside our community.
Dang.
And one of those exchanges is called a black exchange. And the reason it's considered a black transaction is because it's deemed untaxable.
Worthy.
So therefore, if it's untaxable, that
It ain't
means
nothing.
it's illegal.
Can't count it.
You feel me? So technically,
Amen.
we only do one exchange, $1 worth of good business with each other before we run it and going to give it to Balenciaga. Who the fuck is Balenciaga?
Hmm.
Question.